Hi guys. I just was figuring out this is the live. This is your internet, right? This is the internet. Is this the place called the internet? I heard about this place. I was just still figuring out how to use this thing, like the buttons, because I was making a video and I was talking ideas, and then I looked at the video and I didn't know that it hadn't been going, but everyone knew that it was going, and they were also enjoying that I was not knowing that I was going. It was better like that, but it's better for content like that. But I'm just learning the buttons on this thing called the internet like that and stuff, and so it's really kind of nifty, this thing, the internet. So I just want to talk about some ideas, but shout out some people rocking with the channel, and people were saying that your bullshit would be much better if you just actually kept out the bull and just give us that shit we're jacking with, and so it'd be better to just engage. So I want to do my best to actually look to prove that I can read the words in the chat, and then that I'm not AI, and that I don't know if people give I haven't got that one yet. Hey man, can you prove that you're not can you just say green eggs and ham? Okay, okay. Make sure I'm not AI or something like that. But it's a little bit early to be talking like that. But people are saying like you gotta come on late as hell, and then you gotta also be yourself and check out the chat too. And as I'm in here by my damn self like that, just like that, damn self like that. But it's late as hell now. I don't know if anyone rocks with me, but I think that I personally, right, you gotta have a standard in this life. Everyone gotta have a standard. My standard is that I normally don't listen to music between 2 a.m. and 3:40 a.m. I didn't know why I did that. For a long time I would listen to music all the time. Like I always listen to music like at midnight, like to wind down for a long time when I didn't have nothing going on. But I wouldn't listen to music for that time. And then later I checked out the Navajo elder teachings, and they said that some of the indigenous people of the Americas, they appreciate that sound travel differently at night. And so if you're doing things like especially music at night, it could betray your presence to a friend or foe, as it wouldn't serve you. A friend, maybe friend, foe, or no. People that act like you're nobody, they it could betray your presence. So that's actually the reason why some people wouldn't listen to like music like in the dead off hours of the night like that. But I feel like the day, if you had to peg where the day starts, I figure it starts at about 3:40 in the morning. That's like the way I know the difference. I don't think that the day actually starts at midnight, because by midnight, man, you're at if you weren't good to go wherever you're at, shit is still scary at midnight, and you're not all the way tired, and you're still thinking a lot about yesterday at midnight. But by the time 3:40 come on, now we're really on to the next day. So right now, you could say this is past late. So late is all the way up until 3:39. Now it's past late. We're in the next day. Um, but I want to do, if anybody got anything to like say, I want to do more engage the live feed in real time. If anybody got something cool to say, or not just, but just to be cool, do always be cool people, and engage. But I did actually have an idea with this one, and it's to that point, right? I think sometimes I was thinking about things like, why can't we figure out where we come from, right? I once said something. I once was listening to something by Alex Jones. I wanted to say the great Alex Jones. I like Alex Jones because he had a lot of commentary during the time of the pandemic, and he actually spun. He gave like an actual reference for thinking twice or thinking otherwise. That's a better one. So think once, twice, and otherwise about something. Not just think twice, but think otherwise. Think otherwise about this pandemic. What is this thing someone want to put in your arm? What is this thing that people are stopping what they do for work about? Oh, so what do you do for work? I don't do nothing because the world had ended. Or my world had ended. You could say during the time of the pandemic. But I wanted to talk about like why we can't get past certain things. According to Alex Jones, though, the greatest in this life that has like inspired this life, it doesn't yet. I don't mean you can't. There's some things that you can't do without being egregious. And to speak for who and what is great is egregious, because if you've ever been with people like, oh yeah, they're with me, oh, what do they think about this and that? To speak for another person isn't well. But I don't know what he didn't quote his source, but he thought that this existence doesn't know where it is. That is actually, if you sometimes like you have like the 5 W's in journalism: who, what, when, where, and why. But I think where I've appreciated that the one where it explains almost anything else. Where you are it's synonymous with when you are, to different degrees, what you are, or at least what you're about, why you are doing something or being somewhere is part of where you are. So I think that where is actually like where might be the only question. If you could break down any question into where, like you could that could be someone's like coordinate. I mean that sound like you sound sketchy when you're talking about coordinates and location because you're more so wanting someone's location and coordinates to hurt somebody. But I'm not about that kind of stuff. But I just mean like where is I think where is really significant, way more significant than it sounds. Not what why are we when is probably almost equally as deep. But where are we? Where are we? If you know where we are, if you could lay a finger on where we are existing right now. So where are we? We're in the Milky Way. Where's the Milky Way? Where in the Milky Way? When is the Milky Way? In all of time, when is the Milky Way? Where is the Milky Way? But I think that one of the reasons that we get baffled about like where do we come from? Where does life come from? Also, when does life come from? It's because we think either or, right? So like I was holed up somewhere, waiting for the damn day to start, 3:40, this and that, and I just all of a sudden someone's like every once in a while, has anyone ever? I've been in vehicles for a long time, right? I've been up and down a lot of vehicles for a long time. I have 7,000 deliveries on one recent platform. I didn't start that platform till 22. I probably have between 500 and 1,000 deliveries on another platform, and then for long before that, I did like actual like pizza shops and sandwich shops, and then I got my own self around a lot of places to other jobs that didn't deliver things. I deliver myself places. Then I've been a CDL for 4 school seasons at least, including transit bus in those big buses that look like Arcadians, the Arctic bus. But heaven, thank heaven, I never actually been in a. I'm not gonna even finish that sentence. I never actually been in being in something as vehicles go, other than to like when I was like maybe pulling in somewhere, maybe someone door caught the door parallel, this and that. But every once in a while you imagine like, but no kidding, what would that actually be if you felt something like that in a vehicle like that, right? I'm talking about like as other vehicles go, like so I don't know. Every once in a while, like, does anyone ever have this? Like, I used to listen to headphones, like some of the ideas that I reference when I'm talking. I used to listen to Osho in headphones, and like every once in a while I'll fall asleep, but I'll actually hear him more vividly when I'm like nodding off like that. I'll understand exactly like anything that's being said, like very clearly, actually more than being awake. Like according to Arthur Avalon, some states of mind are more than real. Like you have like different for every different kind of creature, a bug, an insect, a bird, a hummingbird, a hawk, a sparrow, a lizard, any kind of creature, they have a different range of awareness. Like for example, a snake hears with its belly, but you could say that hearingness of the snake, it almost might amount to like a different form of seeing, like kind of like a bat. And I think that snakes also may be able to speak through their belly if they can hear through their belly, because most things are a two-way street. But um but so like but sometimes we don't think about like, but every once in a while like you fall asleep, and it, like you almost feel like you're about to die. Like has anyone ever had you fall asleep, right? Nothing bad was happening, right? But you're like, oh shit. Like kind of like maybe that might be from if you're like drowsy, like driving, heaven forbid, you're like, oh shit, like that. But I was just like here right now, and I was like this. I was sitting here. There's nothing in my environment that I could see consciously. Because your mind. I've talked about art. I was on this channel talking about RAS in another video recently, and someone's like, "Man, you're not saying anything, man. This is the same stupid shit that everybody thinks about. This is the same stupid shit as everyday stupid shit. What is this stupid shit you're talking?" But your RAS is like how you can perceive more. You're actually perceiving more in your environment than you're cognizant of. But even as I was sitting holed up somewhere, staked out somewhere I'm staked out for the day, right? How many people do you know lay on the day to start, man? Yeah, man, when is this fool gonna come, man? Yeah, I've been waiting this fool, man. Is he here? When does he come here? Well, man, he been here every day for the last 4 billion years, man. And he's kind of loud with it, man. What's his name again? Sun, right? Oh, we're waiting on the sun, right? We're waiting on the sun to show up. Yeah, man. Are you sure he's gonna be here? Yeah, man. He been over here every day for like the last 3 billion years, man. Right over there, man. Always comes on the west side, on the east side like that, and then he always leave out the south like that. So I'm staked out waiting for the day to start before the day has started. to do productive stuff, above board stuff, ethical, legal stuff, healthy stuff, productive stuff. But I was just nodding off like that, and I was like, oh, fuck, shit, damn it, fuck. And then like 4 seconds later, a car goes by like that. But in my from the angle where I'm at, I couldn't actually see a car coming on with my peripheral vision. No way visually could I see a car coming. And I also had the window rolled up and the heater going on. So I would have to actually hear that car or sense that car in some profound way, very subtle and gentle. I've extrapolated that we may all have some form of twin in this life, and what we know of ourselves that can be seen of ourselves and that people know of us, that might be the byproduct of us. We might actually be like so like when twins are born, like in the do babies pass do babies defecate, but also do twins defecate, and is one of the other twin the other ones defecate. No, not shout out twins. But I've thought that maybe we have a counterpart. They would call it the higher self, but it might be your same self that actually has a different degree of awareness. Because like for most things you can see, there's something that you can't see. Even if you look at a building, right? If you think about this, right, any object that appears in three-dimensional space, I don't mean to be arbitrary talking about dimensions because I can't really enunciate more than three dimensions unless I just were to like puff on me the gun that the thing had become legal like that. I didn't feel like that. How you feel like that? Well, if you think about it, every time you look at something, you can only see so much of it. I used to play basketball. I'm not all about the ball like that, but I at least used to play basketball. But you can never see the whole damn basketball at the same time. Even though you're throwing up, you're putting up shots like that, you may have to be at $1,000 a day if you want to make the team like that and good to go congruent and take the 3-point shot when you need when your teammates don't get pissed at you and they have enough faith when you take the 3-point shot like that from downtown like that. But you got practice. But the whole damn time you can't see the whole damn ball like that. Even if you do basketball, you don't go nowhere without the basketball. The ball, you go to the ball, but you can't see the whole damn ball. Even though you're doing the dribble for the lay like that, and do the spider deal with the for the hand and coordination like that, and you put up your free throw, and everybody got to stand around and watch you have to take a free throw. But none of them see what your ball. They're very interested in with your ball like that before you have to take it home like that because your mind about the ball like that. The first thing you open on Christmas Day like that, but you never can see the whole damn ball the whole damn time. Even as you play your own damn thing, you fight the only one about the ball like that, but you can't see the whole damn thing. And you got to ride like that. You got to whippity I mean, happy mommy, but you never see a whole damn whip of everything. I got me the Mercedes. I always wanted me to the Mercedes Benz, and then also the most of the day, how many days more like the working man Mercedes Benz. Even the old mechanic at my job had told me like that. He said me to started like that. The same thing I drive too, but I had more got the electric edition like that. But even then, you're rolling on down the road with the damn thing. You can't see the whole damn thing at the time. You can see the steering wheel, but you can't see the front end of the car like that. You damn sure can't see your backside unless you have been a very special person. You see your own backside like that. But at no point can you see the whole damn car, even as you're on it. Even when you're driving the thing, you can't see the wheel like that. You can see the top like that. So in the 3D space, you can't see jack shit of 3D. You don't see part of the D. You can't see the whole thing in the 3D space. You can't see the whole thing like that. In 3D space like that. But even things in three-dimensional space, you can't actually see something completely. I don't know, there's actually nothing that you can completely see that you can grasp visually. You can't actually see all of anything in 3D space because it's a projection like that. Kind of like if you were to see like a perspective and it come at you like that. But did you think that the reason you can't also see it is because you're it? What's actually behind you? Are you sure what's behind you? Like you just walk past someone, right? You walk past somewhere, right? But what's actually behind you as you can't see it, right? I can see behind me with with this phone like that. I can't see myself without the phone or reflection. I can't see myself, and I can't see what I just got past. But what I got past might also be me. But the fact that we have two eyes, according to Osho, it would give us that. Like the fact that you have two ears gives you stereo hearing. I read a book called On Songwriting by Paul Zalo. It's like a compilation of a lot of interviews and testimony by a lot of great rock and rollers from like the whole 20th century. Like some of the people that gave us Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, Beach Boy, stuff like that, and the great Brian Wilson. Another commendation, if anyone, just to be outright honest, if you want to know about beautiful music, and especially about doo-wop, because I have aspirations about doo-wop, and I practice doo-wop. But there's an actual a musician named Tim Smolens, TIMSMOLENS, has a channel on YouTube, and he breaks down music very sophisticated. Like a lot of times, like if you see like people like singing a barbershop quartet, it sounds beautiful, but there's actually some things you have to do. Like you can't sound just like the next man. You have to, like, you need to bo boo ba 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 ba. Hey oh, hey oh, hey oh, hey oh. Do da 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 da. Darling Judy, you had left me, darling Judy, darling Judy. Why did you leave me? Why did you leave me, Judy? Oh, Judy, 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 Judy. Baba, 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 Baba. It's kind of bogus. It don't show nobody in the live with me like that. Yeah, boy, bogus in the damn sound. But you can't get any practicing by your damn self. You're gonna be the Michael Jordan before the space damn happy kid. You're gonna be practicing by yourself. If you're in the Michael Jordan the do up, you're gonna be practicing by yourself. But the Tim Smallens, he breaks down that to have like a sophisticated harmony, you need contrast like that, and actually coming in at a different that combination of the different ranges, the so are you do you understand, so you would like to be a singer? Ah, I see. Do you understand yourself to be a bass or a baritone, mind you? Oh, I had always been, I don't know, I'm just a falsetto like that, because I'm just the greatest like that. I don't know, actually, no, but I think I had actually been my bad, I'm trying to think what's the higher range of bass, baritone, tenor. I had been the tenor like that. Ah, tenor, I see. We had just found, we filled a tenor. Thank you very much. But you actually need the meaning of having a bass, a baritone, a tenor, and then damn, I sound bogus not knowing the higher one than that. Tenor is like the higher range of a bass. Is you more so only have males in the bass range, and then males in the baritone, and then you can have males in the tenor, and then the one above that is more so females. You might have a female tenor, like maybe if a female had a little bit, but you need that contrast to actually for the song, for the different voices to even stand out and have meaning one together. But Tim Smallens breaks down how you can actually have some of the sophistication of like doo-wop music. But then he highly commends Brian Wilson, who we lost this year. Brian Wilson was responsible for a lot of the brilliance of the Beach Boys. He was writing. He didn't actually get on with. He didn't always go tour with them, but he was actually the one putting them up to that shit. He put the Beach Boys up to that famous shit, that rock and roll shit. And a lot of people don't appreciate. He enunciated that the Beach Boys were exactly. They broke down and existed as a neat counterpart and healthy competition to the Beatles, no less. And in terms of output and even traction and success, it's arguable who actually got the better of that competition, the Beach Boys or the Beatles. But he was once, I think he was victimized by, I'm not sure if it was his father or his sibling. They had done something in front of him, like maybe, I had a coworker who was also a rock and roller. He was a Native American brother from Minnesota, and he had tried to strike out in California as a rocker. And it's actually strange because when we do like pieces and stuff like that, he actually had a strange kind of energy that was actually really rock and roll. I can't explain it. Some people actually give you some really ass rock and roll vibes like that, and they're really rock and rollers. I got that vibe off of Anthony Kiedis one time. I watched some older interviews about the Red Hot Chili Peppers. They've always been popping since the 90s to currently. But there's an interview about him in the 90s where like there's like this cliff face. It's like a damn cliff that you'll fall to your oblivion. And he's like, watch this, man, fuck it. And he jumped over the damn cliff like that just for the damn hell of it. But he could actually just like fall down and never come back. But I got some real rock and roll vibes off him. But my friend was a rock and roller like that, and someone had popped an actual like shotgun. I think his friend popped a shotgun next to his head, and then not to hurt him, but like just to be for a prank. And his hearing was never the same. And Brian Wilson was like that. His he can't hear stereo. So when you hear like stereo music, stereoscopic, I think that's an effect that comes from you having two ears. But also the fact that you can perceive three dimensions. I can't say what you might. There might actually not be more than any. There might actually not be different dimensions. There's only one existence. And then as you come into and you experience what can be called three dimensions, you also have one and two and more than three dimensions in three dimensions. But that combination is in that iteration when you're operating or appreciating three dimension. The third dimension is manifest, and the other ones are latent and supporting and giving meaning to the experience of a three dimension. Same too with two dimensions, because even if you're looking at something on two-dimensional paper, you're actually within a three-dimensional experience of yourself and of the paper and the pencil that's giving you the opportunity to see things in two dimension. And then so it also, like, you look at a camera, when you look at this the screen, you're actually seeing two dimension, but the shading and the perspective gives you the sensation of three dimensions. But it might be the same that even in three-dimensional reality, you're having the sensation of three-dimensional, but we might actually be something different. So all dimensions are always existing at once, but we may be more accustomed to the range of the third dimension, what seems like the third dimension. But that's facilitated by the fact that we have two eyes like that. Otherwise we're binocular, but otherwise we'd be monocular, and things would have a completely different meaning like that, with one eye like that. But I'm a little bit getting low on bandwidth. But I wanted to say that sometimes I think that the reason we can't figure out like where we come from and conceive how life can start, right? Where life can how can life be fashioned, right? Like what came first, right? This is what I think is maybe exactly wrong. What came first, the chicken or the egg? The or part might be the problem. That's where we're being arbitrary like that. It could be the chicken and the chicken came first, and the egg came first, and the chicken and the egg came first. So it's like I was nodding off right here, and then I was like, damn it. Oh shit. I felt like I'm about to I feel like I actually had fucked around and died by mistake. Have you ever been dreaming or sleeping and you're like, oh shit, you just fucked around and died by mistake like that? But then when I did that, like 4 seconds later, a car goes by. It might not only be that I woke up and then I saw the car go by, but I woke up and then the car went by because I made the car seem to go by in my own experience by waking up. So it wasn't that. So what happened first? The car was about to go by. That woke me up. Then I saw the car go by. Then I said, oh shit. Or I woke up and said, oh shit. And that made the person in the car want to drive by like that. So I'm saying that in a deeper way, without being arbitrary, you could say that it wasn't that I woke up and then the car went by. The car was about to go by, then I woke up. I woke up, which made the car start to go by. The start to go by, which made me woke up. I'm creating my own experience, which is also the car and its experience. It's creating its own experience, which is also me and my experience, at one and different at the same time. That's also life. Heterogeneous and homogeneous. Same and different. Uniform and uniform delta. Maybe I want to say damn, like saffron. Maybe if you say like saffron, same and different, same and different, one in other in one, at once, and both different at once. It's multiple but also the same. And it's not that it is different and the same, but what is different makes it the same. So it's like you have, like, if you were to see my voice if you were to see my voice represented in visual terms, like back in the day in the 90s, they'd have these like stereos, like the expensive stereos at people's parties, and it shows like the little ranges of the bass like that. But if you could actually see a more like stereo like three-dimension at least representation of what the sounds are doing, it's replicating. And you could say that any sound is in any other sound. Anything that would manifest, all that exists is what would be in manifest. Whatever manifests, me showing my face, for me to appear the way that I do, and for me to appear the way that I do in front of you right now, this morning, mind you, I do, much ado. For me to be me, it takes so much of experience. So many people would have had to lead up to me. So many people would have had to have experience with me by me looking like me, understanding myself like me, them understanding themselves like them, that would give meaning to me. I'm the most eccentric range of all that is me. But I'm not, what you see of me is not all that is me, and that is facilitating me and gives meaning to me and makes me viable. But I'm the most eccentric byproduct. I'm the fanciest shit that came out of all the bullshit that's me. But I'm still not different than the bullshit. So what came first? The turd or the turd flower? The turd flower is not different than the turd. It's not viable without the turd, but it's also still part of the turd while it's appearing to be a turd flower. But you need the turd to have the turd flower, and the turd flower to be possible from the turd, to have the dynamic like that. But so it might be the same with causation though, is that it's not that what came first, the conception of the universe and then the experience of the universe. What came first, the past, the present, or the future. You could probably reason that the present is it led up to, because like, okay, so we're experiencing now, are we now young, like, so you're like, forever 20, forever this and that, right? How old do I, or young do I appear? I was listening, I actually didn't figure out how to go into like the transcripts of like the chat in this channel till recently, but I went back in the chat and they're like, man, this dude's crazy and shit, man. Does this dude don't know he's on mute, man? Does this dude really talk out his face like that? That dude's crazy. Oh, that dude had a good one. That was a zinger right there. But also, like how old did you think that dude was talking like that? But it might not be like, so if a person would appreciate me as young or not, right? With respect to my ancestors and my antecedents, am I now this very young person now, right? Am I now a very young person, a very young specimen, a fine specimen, a yoga plant? The modern speaking, talking, living, working, civic, spiritual, mundane, commercial, brilliant, less than perfect human yoga plant, talking yoga plant had been this one specimen. But am I this young, existing now, appearing like now, being viable now, in 25 this and that, or am I this old ass ancient person thing? Because I'm the yet living part of my ancestors. You could say they would have been younger than me. Even your old ancestors, right? Way back in the day, back in the day, back in the time before right now, but also right now. You would think of them as being very old, but in a way they were actually younger than you. Your ancestors, you could appreciate they were younger than you because they came before you. You're older than your ancestors. You think that it's strange, right? Are you younger than your parents? Really, are you younger than your parents? Not necessarily because your parents were born before you. You think your parents are these old ass people. Man, parents don't know. Man, parents just don't understand. My parents just don't understand. Yeah, but they had been young once before you, but you're now young after the fact of them being young, so you're a little bit actually older than them, even because did your parents act when you were born, right? Because that's one of the beautiful things. What is the best part about making love? The best part about making love is that it's timeless. When you're experiencing love, like, I don't want no. I went to the. Oh, let's say this, right? I went to the high school called the Minutemen. My high school was called the Minutemen. I got shot. I had people throw shade at me. Even people that you rolled around in the this and that. You would not necessarily the same one I went to Sadie Hawkins with, but the one that had rolled in the hay now. Hey now. No, we rode in the hay now. Now you gonna do it like that? Hey now, we rode in the hay now, right? It's me, baby, from the hay. Hey, baby, you gonna do me like that? But no one ever talked a shot. I mean, but he had been that jackass, this and that, but he hadn't been he would more. I got more props than to be a minute man. But actually, when it's actually the greatest, so Dex ain't the be all end all. Good shit ain't the be all end all. But when it's good to go like that, you lose sense of time. So 1 minute is actually is a long. There's no meaning to time, even a minute. So if it had been if you came across a real minute man, it don't take more than a minute man to get on past someone with a musket like that and bust all the way through with a musket like that and be a minute man like that. But it's gonna feel like forever if it's a good minute man, cause you're bound on that and we ain't no period now. We enlightened now from the explosion of the minute man. 1 minute man like that, but it feel like a very long time like that. But the best things are timeless. And then when you have a sense of that, might be actually what's egregious about sex work, because you punch a clock for work. So oh shit, damn it, here we go. If you're having to do anything based on a clock, you can't forget about the clock if you're on the clock. So that might spoil the. I don't mean to talk like that's actually kind of vulgar to say that, but what might actually spoil something as good as sex, if it had become sex work, is because now you have a sense of time about it. Yeah, you got 30 minutes. We got 30 minutes, man. Let's get this shit over with. Not to be heinous, but that you're corrupting it by a sense of time like that. But it's more beautiful without time. But in that sense, you could say that it's a little bit arbitrary. Is that when you're born, were you created with your conception when your parents conceived you? Were you created in that moment, or were you created when your first ancestor was created and now you're an extension of them? But you couldn't probably argue that you're created with your conception, or did you inherit conception, or were you the first conception of yourself, or were you a succession of conceptions and now a present iteration among a succession of iterations of conceptions of yourself? in the greatest sense, like in the real lovemaking sense, if you're if Marvin had been getting it in, and maybe one day you get it in, that sense of that's not going to have meaning because it's that beautiful. Is that you lose sense of time. But you could as soon say that you are younger than your parents, or your parents are younger than you, or you are older than your parents, or your parents are younger than you, even as you would appear to be younger and stuff like that. So a lot of things, like in terms of straight linear succession, straightforward, past, present, future, it doesn't have as much meaning. So you could say in the truest sense, that's what's significant about initiation, is that only I once heard someone said, if you're about something real enough, the only way out is through the top. That's what, if anyone ever got in enough, if you ever got yourself in deep. So how do you know you got in deep? You had a job back in the only way. How do you get any deep? I was thinking, I watched this video, and they're talking about like the most badass and most sophisticated of the entire pecking order of commando shit in the United States. They have sophisticated ways of tracking people. That's bad enough if they're after me. Somebody in a white suit is after you. But if them boys are after you, them commando, this and that, that's you're pretty in deep like that. The only thing I can think about being deeper than that is if you had been like had a job around pools, like a pool boy, whether or not you had been there at someone's house while someone's wife was there or not. Back in the day, if you had been a pool boy during the time of prohibition, speakeasy, and you were like a pool boy for like one of them big timers like that get back and forth between the Midwest and this and that, and you had got stuck in the deep end of their swimming pool. Now you're in deep, you're in over your head. That's in deep. But if you get deep, the only way out is through the top. But but so like, but all I'm saying is that like, there's no in the but so when something is initiated, when an action has been initiated, sustained, the sustain is part of the initiation. So like, if you hit the piano, ding, the striking of the piano is the like initiating it. So every time you plug, even time you make a sound out your mouth, or you play an instrument, that's an initiation. And then the ringing, the echoing, the audio, that's the sustain, and it actually doesn't stop at any point. There's no creation or destruction of sound. Only being revealed through initiation. So what I'm saying is that an initiation reveals. I'm not saying necessarily a formal initiation or anything like street or with being affiliated, but just an initiation of any kind, of any sincere initiation. It actually, the cause, the effect, and the replication, the repetition of the cause and effect is at play within the initiation, such as a sincere initiation. An action, the seed of an action, the development of an action, and the implication of an action are all present once an actual action is initiated and sustained. And from that standpoint, also, if you think that one thing is another, as above, so below, we are yet creating ourselves and one another's experience, and having our experience created, and creating the standpoint for others to create their experience at once. So it might be that when you wake up, the day actually wakes up when you wake up, because you're creating your own experience, including the day, including maybe the universe. You may be creating the universe every time you wake up. So whatever was about to happen for you, what could happen to you, what is imminent for you, it could not be any other way. What happened, and couldn't be any other way. You woke up, a couple seconds the car went by, and it couldn't have happened any other way. You would have had to wake up, and the car would have had to been about to go like that. So I'm just saying that might be actually what the sticking point of why we can't fathom how you figure. So, the universe had been created. How you figure? The chicken had came before the egg. How you figure? The egg had came before the chicken. How you figure? The farmer, who's also the wealthiest now the wealthiest burger joint, had came before all that. How you figure? It might be that all ways happen. What is the real way? What is the right way? What is the best way? All ways are the right way and the best way at once, and separate and once. And that's a little bit, I sometimes have thoughts about that, about like what they would call parallel realities, or parallel timelines. Because it's not that so I'll have another, that's another topic that's been occurring to me lately, but I'll land this one here. I'm not sure if anyone had rock with this, but I was about to field some questions if I would have saw. So if anyone is in here, I can't see from the can't see if anyone's here, but I'll just chill out for a couple seconds. If anyone want to say anything directly to get direct engagement and traction, because I was about to try to come here on late night time and then also be more live and just engage and just be a person with people and not like just run my mouth. But it's like just a skill set of like fleshing out ideas. And sometimes like you have to, it's kind of strange, but like one of the reasons that I think we can't stand when people talk is because anything that you say, there's actually a little bit of an assumption in anything you say. So you can't actually talk. You have to take license to talk, right? So in America, right, you got to have a license for, in that modern day, you have to have a license for everything. You have to have a license to do damn near anything, either an official license or like a credibility license. So like when a lot of people are talking too much, back in the day, it would have been if you talk too little. But if you talk too much, it's like, what's your license? But actually, when you talk at all, you're actually assuming licenses, whether you were granted that or not, whether you were grandfathered in under the auspices of somebody else's credibility or creed or sanctioning or institution or not, which is not as necessary or viable in the digital space. You're still actually assuming, just for you to talk, you're assuming who your audience are, what they would like or not like, what they know or not like, and stuff like that. So when I look at the chat, I might be assuming wrong, but you actually have to be assuming different things and a little bit arrogant even to express oneself at all, unless you're like compelled just by beauty or emotion to express yourself. But so I enter these for truth, and I'm not intending to be arrogant, but you kind of have to, you have to fake it till you make it, but you also have to fix your face until your face is right, and you also have to assume or have confidence or start with confidence, to have the confidence to express yourself, and it's part of the skill set of working up to oratory. Oratory might be one of the greatest skills just because it's hard to come by. It's hard to get opportunities to practice oratory and also venues to practice oratory, especially going back. And YouTube is now one of them, but you can't have your cake and eat it too. You can't be enlightening and not be a little bit arrogant too, so much as you're running your mouth, especially in the ethers. But I entered this one for truth, and I would like to rock out because I was checking out I figured out how to check out the chat in the past iterations, and I want to be more like, if I'm going to do an actual live, I want to be more live and like 2 live crew like that. But you got it. So 1 is the loneliest, 2 is maybe the loneliest number since the number 1, but you got to be live. You got to have at least 2 to be live, 2 live crew, baby. So I want to be live with it, but I didn't get any traction and engagement with this one. But if I pop up again, I'm gonna try to hang out tough and just let it all hang out, baby. Let it all hang out like that. But I hope everyone have a strong day. I'm not gonna say a good or bad day, because some people be like, what the hell is a good day? What is this good day thing? And good is a little bit arbitrary because it's a value judgment. But have a strong day like that. Peace out.